Welcome, dear listeners, to a tale of destiny and devotion, where a single act of kindness reshapes two wounded hearts forever. Have you ever wondered how one small gift can unlock a world of love and redemption? May this story fill you with hope and remind you that generosity is a seed from which miracles bloom. Let us begin. He gave her his last 10. Now he's the only one who can save her company. Eloise Sinclair stood at the towering glass doors of Meridian Enterprises, clutching a legal brief as though it were her lifeline. Her company teetered on the edge of collapse, creditors circling like vultures. Desperation etched her pale cheeks. Determination shone bright in her emerald eyes. Across the mahogany desk, Theo Blackwood, billionaire tech magnate, studied her with cool appraisal. His tailored suit accented broad shoulders, but his gaze betrayed loneliness. Rumors whispered of betrayal, a boardroom coup that cost him everything but his fortune. "Miss Sinclair," he began, voice like tempered steel. "The terms are non-negotiable. $10 million paid in full by next week or Meridian ceases operations." Eloise's breath stuttered. $10 million? She had just $10 in her wallet, money she owed herself to catch a cab. I cannot," she stammered. "But I can offer my stake in the company, my entire family legacy." He leaned back. "Your legacy won't save you. But I have an idea, a partnership, 10 million in liquidity, and in exchange you wed me, a merger of assets and names." Shock rippled through her. Business marriage? A weapon more cunning than any lawsuit. That evening, dressed in a simple black sheath, Eloise arrived at Blackwood Manor for their rehearsal dinner. The grand hall glittered with crystal chandeliers. Theo stood by the fireplace, flames dancing across his chiseled features. As they approached, a waiter tripped, champagne glass flying, shards clinking like sinister bells. Eloise lunged, saving Theo's hand from the laudanum-laced liquid. Their eyes met, his steeled, hers frantic. She glimpsed something softer beneath his facade. "Thank you," he murmured, wincing as he dabbed at his sleeve. "I underestimated you." Her heart fluttered against her ribs like a trapped bird. By midnight, the contract was signed. In a hush-shrouded chapel, vows echoed like incantations. As Eloise slipped the ring onto Theo's finger, thunder rattled, stained glass, an omen perhaps of storms ahead. In the candlelit bridal suite, Theo held out a small envelope. Eloise's pulse raced as she opened it. 10 crisp $10 bills. Her last $10. "You gave me your last 10? Theo's voice broke, disbelief softening his tone. "Why?" She swallowed. "Because I trusted you'd keep your word." He stared at the money, then at her trembling hand. In that breathless moment, a silent promise formed between them, an unspoken bond stronger than any contract. Sunlight filtered through silken drapes, dust motes dancing in golden beams. Eloise awoke on crisp linen sheets, heart pounding. Across the room, Theo stood by the window, gazing at the city skyline cloaked in dawn's haze. He looked so distant, she thought, tracing the curve of his shoulder. He turned, offering a small, porcelain cup of tea, bergamot's tang mingling with honey's sweetness. She accepted, warmth spreading through her fingers. "Sleep well?" he asked, voice low. "Like a stone," she admitted, attempting levity. He smiled once, briefly, before his gaze darkened. "We have meetings today. Your finance team awaits." Her throat tightened. Behind his stoic veneer, she sensed a question unspoken. Did she truly belong in his world? That afternoon, Eloise escorted Theo through Meridian's marble halls. Employees paused, eyes widening at the power couple. Her chest, fluttered with pride and doubt in equal measure. Their first stop, the charity wing, where battered women found refuge. A line of hopeful faces greeted them, each woman clutching a chipped mug stamped with Meridian's logo. Theo stepped forward, kneeling beside an elderly matron. Whispered words, inaudible, softened the woman's rigid posture. Eloise watched, as Theo discreetly handed a check, his signature barely visible beneath an alias, T. Davenport. He's done this before. Her thoughts raced. He funds orphanages, buys school supplies in secret. His kindness was a revelation she never expected from the cold businessman who demanded her hand in marriage. That evening, Cassandra Blackwood arrived unannounced at Blackwood Manor's library. Her gown was midnight silk, her smile a knife's edge. "Sister-in-law," she said, voice oily with faux warmth. Eloise stiffened. "Cassandra." Cassandra's eyes glinted. "I thought you'd appreciate knowing the truth about Meridian's debts. Those numbers I shared with Theo? Fabricated." Eloise's heart sank. Fabricated? Cassandra circled her like a viper. "Your so-called rescue plan will collapse. Theo will blame you, and his trust will shatter." Eloise swallowed. "Why do this?" Cassandra paused before a portrait of Theo's late mother. "Because I loved him first, and he promised me this legacy." Lightning cracked outside. Cassandra's secret motive: revenge for a broken engagement. The next morning, Theo arrived at the office to find an urgent email. A forged audit reported millions in missing funds from Meridian's subsidiary. Board members murmured betrayal. Investors withdrew. All fingers pointed to Eloise's mismanagement. How could this be? She thought, panic fluttering. In the glassed boardroom, Theo's eyes were glaciers. "Eloise, care to explain?" She rose, voice trembling. I have nothing to hide." He stood, chair screeching backward. "Then we'll uncover the truth together." But his tone held an accusation sharper than any knife. Her cheeks burned. Despair drove Eloise to Meridian's archives, a dusty vault of contracts and ledgers. As she rifled through ledgers by lamplight, a soft cough startled her. Dr. Marcus Reyes, Meridian's CFO and former friend, emerged from the shadows. His gentle smile offered solace. "Theo trusts me," he whispered. "I think you're innocent." He pointed to a ledger entry stamped with Cassandra's initials. With trembling fingers, Eloise realized Cassandra had orchestrated the fraud. "I must prove it," she resolved, heart pounding. Meanwhile, Theo grappled with conflicting loyalties. In his private study, he stared at the $10 bills she had given him, the token of her trust. Guilt and love warred in his chest. "She would never betray me," he admitted aloud, running fingers over the fanned bills. But the evidence... He crossed to his hidden safe, withdrawing a worn photograph. Eloise as a child, handing him a teddy bear. A memory of kindness transcending wealth. This cannot be her downfall, he vowed, voice choked. That night, Eloise sneaked into Cassandra's study, heart thudding like a drum. Candlelight flickered across ornate mahogany. On the desk lay Cassandra's journal, a confession in ink. Her hands shook as she read. "Theo must never know the woman who rejected me thrice. If he falls for her, my legacy vanishes." Tears blurred Eloise's vision. Proof in hand, she raced to find Theo. In the hallway, footsteps echoed. Eloise whirled to see Cassandra, dagger drawn, not for his body, but his soul. "I won't let you ruin us," Cassandra hissed, lips curling. Before Eloise could react, Cassandra lunged, and the blade flew from her hand, clattering down the key. Marble staircase. Silence. Then Cassandra's chilling whisper. "You think the fraud was my only betrayal? You have no idea what I'll do next." Lights flickered, and the manor plunged into darkness. A storm raged outside Blackwood Manor. Rain pounded the terrace like 1,000 drummers, thunder rolling through cavernous halls. Eloise pressed her back against the oak-paneled wall, candlelight flickering across her tear-streaked face. Cassandra's labored breathing echoed just beyond the corridor. "He'll come for me," Eloise thought, heart hammering. "He won't let her hurt me." A sudden crash, shattered glass. Cassandra had broken into the greenhouse, where Theo often retreated to think. Eloise followed, each step a prayer. Inside, shattered pots and overturned. Benches formed a maze. Cassandra stood before Theo, cloak soaked with rain, eyes ablaze. In her hand, she grasped a vial of clear liquid. "One drop of this," Cassandra hissed, "and Meridian's IP is lost forever." Theo's jaw clenched. He squared his shoulders against the knight's fury. "Enough, Cassandra. This ends now." Cassandra lunged toward a control panel. Eloise dove, knocking the vial from her hand. It shattered on the marble floor. Liquid hissed, evaporating instantly. Cassandra reeled, fury contorting her features. Before Eloise could rise, Cassandra grabbed her arm. Pain flared, iron clasp of a hidden bracelet cutting into flesh. "No!" Theo shouted, rushing forward. He yanked Cassandra away. In the struggle, Cassandra stabbed at him with a slender knife. Theo caught the blade with his bare hand, blood seeping between his fingers. Eloise screamed, lunging at Cassandra. "Stop!" In the blink before darkness, Cassandra's face split into maddened triumph. Eloise awoke on the cold marble floor, trembling. Blood drained from her vision as she realized Theo had shielded her. Now slumped against a shattered planter, his suit soaked in crimson. "My last $10 were meaningless compared to this." She staggered to her feet, gathering strength. The manor's alarm blared, a security breach. Guards' footsteps thundered through corridors. Cassandra lay unconscious. At her feet, the knife discarded nearby. Theo lay motionless, eyes closed, breath shallow. Panic surged through Eloise's veins. She pressed fingers to his neck. No pulse. "Please, not like this," she whispered, tears pooling. Remembering the first aid kit hidden in the greenhouse shed, Eloise hoisted Theo's limp form and dragged him through rain-slicked gardens. Thorns tore at her dress. Mud stained her ankles. Each step pained her, but she refused to stop. Inside the shed, she ripped open bandages, tearing strips of her own blouse to staunch the bleeding. Water dripped from her hair, mixing with blood on the brittle wooden floor. "Stay with me," she breathed, pressing cloth to his palm. "You have to stay." Theo's eyelids fluttered. A weak groan escaped him. Eloise sobbed with relief, until his breathing halted again. She pressed her lips to his, mouth dry with fear, whispering every vow she never dared speak. As Theo's hand twitched, Eloise felt something hard in his coat pocket, a handwritten letter in her name. She opened it, voice shaking. "Eloise, if you're reading this, I've failed to protect you. But know that you saved me long ago. Always yours." "Theo," her breath caught. He wasn't unconscious by accident. He'd anticipated danger, prepared for a worst-case scenario. Just as life returned to Theo's pale face, the shed's door burst open. Cassandra, bleeding but defiant, lunged with renewed fury. "He's mine!" she screamed, rushing Eloise with wild eyes. Eloise shielded Theo, raising a broken plank. Cassandra knocked it aside, tears mingling with rain and blood. "How could you betray me?" Cassandra wailed, voice cracking. "You promised." "Forever." As Cassandra advanced, guards flooded in. Their leader, Dr. Marcus Reyes, leveled a pistol. "On the ground!" Cassandra froze, shocked at her own escalation. Guards disarmed her, escorting her away in handcuffs. Eloise sank to her knees beside Theo, cradling his head. His eyes opened, fierce yet tender. "You gave me your last dollar," he rasped, "but you've given me so much more." She smiled through tears, brushing blood from his cheek. In that moment, the storm subsided, leaving only hushed rain. Sirens approached, police cars and ambulances converging on the estate. But alongside them came a convoy of Meridian employees bearing lanterns and torches, chanting Eloise's name in solidarity. Eloise's heart swelled. Her people had come to save her, a testament to her own compassion, not Cassandra's deceit. High, Theo was lifted onto a stretcher, his gaze locked with Eloise's. He pressed a trembling finger to her lips. "I have one more secret," he whispered. Before she could reply, the earth trembled beneath their feet, a distant roar of collapsing ruins. The tremor subsided, leaving the grand foyer of Blackwood Manor cracked and strewn with debris. Guards and medics hastily stabilized Theo on his stretcher, while Eloise knelt beside him. Rain trickled through shattered windows, mingling with tears on her cheeks. Suddenly, Dr. Marcus Reyes stepped forward, holding up Cassandra's journal. The very document Eloise had uncovered. "In the name of justice and truth," Marcus announced, his voice echoing off marble pillars, "I present the evidence of Ms. Blackwood's schemes." He read aloud Cassandra's confessions. The fabricated audit, the forged signatures, the midnight break-in, even her failed attempt to destroy Meridian's intellectual property. Each revelation struck the assembled board members like thunderbolts, shattering their doubts about Eloise's integrity. Gasps and murmurs rippled across the crowd. Board Chairman Whitmore rose, face pale. "Cassandra, you betrayed your promise, your family and our trust. By our bylaws, you forfeit all claims to the Blackwood inheritance and any role in Meridian's future." Cassandra's eyes widened in fury and disbelief. She was led away in cuffs, her empire slipping through her fingers. As the crowd dispersed, Eloise's breath caught. Theo's eyes brimmed with gratitude and love. Though bandaged and fragile, he managed a weak smile. "Eloise," he whispered, reaching for her hand. "You risked everything to save me, and my legacy." Eloise placed her hand over his heartbeat, steady and strong. "I owed you at least $10, but you've given me a world." Theo signaled the guards to step back, then beckoned Eloise toward the crumbling central staircase. With each careful step, he supported her, though his own legs trembled. At the top landing stood a gilded chest, waterlogged but intact. Theo opened it to reveal a simple velvet box. He knelt before Eloise, crimson hair damp against his forehead. "From the moment you handed me that last 10, I knew you were the one. You saved my company, my heart, and my soul." Eloise's breath caught as he opened the box. A ring of white gold, set with an emerald cut like her eyes. Inside the lid was engraved a date, June 1st, the anniversary of a charity gala Eloise had hosted years ago, where a shy young boy had presented her with a single rose. That boy was Theo, then estranged from his family, living under an alias. "We met long before today," Theo murmured, sliding the ring onto her finger. "Our souls recognized each other, even if our paths diverged." Tears spilled down Eloise's cheeks as she embraced him. In that moment, the storm outside transformed into a gentle drizzle, nature's blessing on their union. After their embrace, Eloise and Theo descended the grand staircase to witness Cassandra's final disgrace. The manor's gates opened, to allow her transport to a holding cell, where she would face charges of fraud, assault, and attempted sabotage. Before she left, Cassandra caught Eloise's eye. There was no malice now, only the hollow echo of ambition lost. "You win," Cassandra whispered, voice fragile. But remember, power can corrupt even the kindest heart. Eloise pressed her palm to her chest. Only if we let it. As Cassandra was led away, the assembled staff cheered. Meridian's employees, once fearful of corporate collapse, now rallied behind Eloise and Theo, united by integrity and compassion. In the aftermath of chaos, Meridian Enterprises flourished under the co-leadership of Eloise Sinclair Blackwood and Theodore Blackwood. Their merger of hearts and assets became a testament to the transformative power of kindness, trust, and unwavering loyalty. Moral lesson: love is the greatest investment of all. Generosity sows seeds of trust that bloom into unbreakable bonds. Even a single act of kindness, like lending your last $10, can spark a revolution of hope and redemption. Thank you for joining this journey of sacrifice, secrets, and steadfast devotion. Did this story touch your heart? If so, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite moment in the comments below. Until next time, may your lives be filled with unexpected kindness and love that conquers all. Did this story touch your heart?